We talk a lot about custom guitars on this channel, and a lot of those are Martins. I've got 3 to show you today that exemplify the sentiment that Martin can basically do anything in the custom shop, and they are some of the only ones that can do it the way they do. So stick around. How's it going, y'all? This is Cooper Greenberg at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online, alamomusic.com. If you have not, please subscribe to the channel. It's a good thing to do. So, I've got some Martin Customs today, and I want to talk a little bit about the process with Martin, the things that you can do there that I don't think you can do really anywhere else. In terms of the major players in the game, a lot of this stuff, yes, you can go find a boutique luthier that's going to make you one, and it's going to take 3 years, and it's going to cost you 20 grand, which is an amazing thing to be able to do if you want to go do it. But Martin is sort of in the custom game for us, is the sky's the limit brand. And this, I think, is a very, very good example of that. The other 2 I've got is a sky's the limit in an affordable range category, but I will talk about those in a moment. This guitar is special to me because this is a one-off that I sort of spec'd out myself, and I really love it. It's also the guitar, if you're on the Martin Owners group on Facebook, I joined that group to post about this guitar, and let me tell you something, broke the internet. It was an avalanche of differing opinions. Not really, but I'd like to think I made a splash with my first post. There was one guy who said it's ugly, and then he said respectfully or something like that. That's not respectful. That's disrespectful. And I'm going to post this video in the comments of that post that I made, and I hope you see this because I read it. That's not respectful. But now, aside from my grudge, everybody else there said that they liked the guitar. So this is something that we put together in our store when our friend Jimmy and our friend Colin from Martin came down here last year. They brought a bunch of cool wood sets, and we had some of our local customers come and pick out woods that they wanted for their own custom guitar. And then by the end of the day, it was on a Sunday, everybody had gone home. It was just us hanging out in the store, and there was some stuff that I saw that I liked, so I put this together for the store. I wish it was coming home with me. It is not. I got my custom Martin last year, and I'm tapped out for right now. This is 100% a guitar that I would love to own. Let me tell you about it. So, Alpine spruce top, Italian Alpine, so it's the good stuff. I love the creamy white look. On the back and the sides, this is a gorgeous set of Ziricote, and we love this wood. We've done some other cool things with this wood, and you may recognize sort of the trim out, very similar to another guitar that we had that was a 12-fret, small body, Italian spruce top, Ziricote back and sides, and sort of the Alamo package, which I like to throw on as a visual indicator that this is one of ours. It's not unique, but it's something that we like. It's the maple binding, the CFM block inlay, golden era on the headstock. You got the Ziricote headstock overlay there, but then you may notice that the bridge and the fingerboard are very pretty. That is pale moon ebony on there, and I absolutely love the way it looks. We had a pale moon guitar that was in here before, that little 12 fret. It was awesome. It went very quickly, but I just love the way that kind of sort of variegated pale moon goes with the creamy top. Ziricote, super pretty kind of curtain effect on the back. HD zigzag, what else are you going to do? A little herringbone on there. This is an awesome guitar. Now, a couple things, because it all ties back to what Martin can do that others probably could do, but they won't. And one of those things is the pale moon ebony. I know that there's some smaller builders that utilize that. Just not something that you see a ton, and not something that Martin even has a ton of supply of. So when they have it, I think it's really cool to use it. It's just a striking look. I think it works best on this guitar with no fingerboard inlay because you're really looking at just a very unique, pretty piece of wood. And you got the side dots on there to kind of see where you're going if you need them. But yeah, I love the Pale Moon. I think it's great. I think it's just a visual aesthetic that can be explored in a lot of different wood combos, and I think it's really pretty. So the other thing on this guitar, it is rear shifted bracing. Now we've done that on other guitars before as well. You know, typically everything's forward shifted or standard X braced, but when we're speccing out other customs from other brands, you can choose sometimes the type of wood that you want it braced with, but a lot of times, take Taylor for an example. You can choose between X braced and V braced. Now you can choose between Adirondack and Sitka on, you know, your V class bracing, but they're not giving you a ton of options. And other brands don't give you a ton of options between maybe Sitka and Adirondack, or forward shifted and standard X braced, or scalloped or not scalloped. This is scalloped X brace that is rear shifted, much like you could see on the Rich Robinson guitar or some other customs that we've done. It just gives it a unique voice, and I think that it's fun to play with those things. They might not be for everybody, but also you fall in love with the guitar due to its unique attributes. And I think the rear shifted bracing pushes it back a little bit, gets a really nice punchy note forward kind of sound. And with this wood combo, it's just awesome. I think it works. I think this guitar, definitely, in my opinion, one of the best sounding guitars that we have in the store right now. This has not been sort of out on the floor. We got it in, we've taken photos, it's gone back into the case, and I keep going back there to open it up and strum a little bit on it. It's an incredible guitar. So let's take a listen to this one first. Alpine Spruce, Ziricote, Pale Moon, rear shifted bracing. Just a unique guitar all around. Take a listen. So I got a very, very different guitar now. And this is something I did not spec out, but this and the next one, we got sort of a showcase list from the custom shop a couple weeks ago, and there was a very wide range of stuff that they built because they thought it was cool. And we got sort of a first come, first served, pick what you like. And this, to me, is something that is right up my alley and something that I wish that I would have spec'd out. And it's not too far off from another really cool guitar that we had in here that we showed on the channel. This is, as you can see, a 12 fret M body or quadruple O, which we had I believe it was Alpine Spruce Guatemalan Rosewood M 12 fret that I really, really loved, and we got something kind of similar coming in. But this is basically an 18 M 12 fret, M18 12 fret, with a couple upgrades. This is an Adirondack spruce top. This is Adirondack forward shifted scalloped X-braced guitar. So now we're kind of in the opposite realm. This is a very punchy top. X-brace move forward, get a ton of like kind of extra volume and everything from the Addy top and the sort of open lower bout. Very cool. This is just straight up mahogany back and sides, tortoiseshell bound, and then the appointments are 18 style. So if you are looking for a kind of bluegrass machine or a lead fingerstyle guitar, flat pick guitar, the M body is the Nashville secret weapon. It's the session player's sort of do-it-all guitar, and when it turns from the 14 fret to the 12 fret sort of format, I love 12 frets. I think it's super cool. I think it works great with the look of the slotted headstock, open gear Grovers on there. This is a guitar that I feel like showcases a side of Martin that it's like, yeah, this is a custom shop guitar. It's got a very unique body style compared to what they put out. There's only one M body left in the lineup, which is the Johnny Marr. And then there's really no 12 frets other than the 0015 SM and a couple modern deluxes that are smaller bodies. So this, you get the wide lower bout, you get the comfortable sort of 00 depth, but then this sort of body transformation of the 12 fret, I think you get a unique sound out of it. I love 12 fret, I love an M body, and I love Adirondack and Mahogany because that's what I put on my custom guitar. So this just kind of hits all the markers for me, and when you compare it to custom guitars and the price that they can reach, the Ziricote one that I showed before, that's above $7,000. This is still a very expensive guitar, but you know, there are other brands that have standard guitars that are $5,500. This is a $5,500 guitar, but I think you get something from the custom shop that's their kind of special sauce that you really only get from custom Martins. It's just a certain kind of vibe and a feel, but also body shape that nobody else does, and Addy top, Addy bracing. I just think it's great. So take a listen. All right, now we're getting into some funky stuff. This is another guitar that was on the Martin Custom Shop sort of showcase list. These are all kind of one-off guitars that they made, and I think there were 12 on there. I picked 2. That Addy Top M12 fret was one of them. This was the other one. Now, this is unlike anything else that we've ever gotten in from Martin, and that's part of the reason why I felt like we had to have it. You don't see a ton of sinker top, sinker Redwood Martins. We have another thing that we picked out at NAMM that I think is really cool with the sinker top, but this is a wood combo that I really, really like, and usually you see sinker with rosewood. This is a sinker Redwood top with flame mahogany, and that's a really, really pretty set that they chose for this guitar. Sort of chevron-esque, but just really tight flame. This is rosewood bound, and when it was described on the sheet, we didn't have a ton of specs to go off of, but it was described as an OMC 12 fret, which I think is interesting because most of the time 12 frets are described in O's, not OMs. So this is the body profile of a 000 12 fret, but it is OM scale, I guess. So then we got the OM and the C because of the cutaway. So this is 25.4 inch scale. And just when I took it out of the case, is noticeably one of the lightest guitars that we have in the store, which I think is really cool. I weighed it. I think it's right above 3 pounds. But just extremely light, and I think that pair, it's a warmth machine. So with the Redwood top, you get the sort of compressed, nice, warm, almost cedar-esque sound, which Martin doesn't use enough cedar either, so it's cool to get some of that softer kind of sound from the top. And then with the mahogany, it's got all the mid-range and the warmth. I think above any of these guitars that I'm talking about today, this is the coolest fingerstyle guitar, especially for somebody that likes to do fingerstyle, likes a 12 fret, but likes to get up above the 12th fret. It's like a very specialized guitar that strangely works for a bunch of different styles. So if you've noticed thus far in the demos, I'm doing something different on each one because I think each one excels at a different thing. But there is a big strummed E chord at the beginning because this to me is a fingerstyle guitar, but then you give it a big strum and it still just comes alive. So I think a lot of people talk about guitars like I'm looking for my fingerstyle guitar, and that typically goes to a small body, maybe all mahogany or something. But you can get different sounds that work out of even something as specific as this, which is great. And also tying back to things Martin can do. Chris, I don't know if you've heard of him, Chris McKee. He was working with somebody, and maybe that person is watching this, that really wanted a short scale 12 fret with a cutaway. And, there's other options out there. But when you want to do something that you can really get into the specifics of with the bracing, this is standard. So we've had a rear shifted, forward shifted. This is normal X-braced guitar, standard placement. I think that Martin gives you way more options to be able to say, hey, I want a short scale 12 fret with a cutaway. And this person obviously did not want sinker and mahogany, because if he did, he would just have this guitar. But you can change the scale length on this guitar, you can change the woods, the adhesives that are being used, the bracing material, the bracing shape and pattern, and kind of everything. So these guitars could not be more different from each other. They're all very, very different, but I think it's a good showcase of all the things that you can get from Martin that you can't get anywhere else. Let's take a listen to this one. It sounds cool. Check it out. There you have it, 3 very different guitars, all from the same place, all made with the same amount of love. I will not lie, this is my favorite. I think this is the coolest guitar that we got right now. But if you like parts of this guitar, it's very easy to translate it into something that is filled out with other things that you like. The process with Martin is a little bit different. Every custom shop is a little bit different. I have a configurator. You have a configurator, and Martin has a configurator, and all 3 of those have a different level of options available. So if you're trolling around on the Martin site, like I like to do, like I used to like to do before I started working here, and you're speccing out a guitar, and you don't see the option that you really, really want, you can call us, and that option may be available on our end. And if it's not available on our end, then we can call Martin, and they can typically make it work. I will say every custom shop has a certain type of limitation. Martin, to me, is the one that's the most willing to do kind of whatever you want. And I've seen that when I've been there, that there will be a extremely specialized guitar that resembles nothing like what they make, and they will do it. But it just takes asking, and it takes waiting and patience, and a lot of times if it's way off the menu, it takes a lot of money. But you can make this guitar. If you really love the Pale Moon, you could build a D18 standard with Pale Moon, and you're paying for the custom shop services, and you're paying for the Pale Moon, but otherwise it's not totally out of the realm of possibility if you're already in the price range of a D18. We've seen that with other M bodies and, you know, simple stuff that they just don't make anymore, but they will do something similar, and it's a little bit of an upcharge, and the hardest part is waiting, but it is a really, really fun process just to see everything that's available just with bracing or just with, you know, wood combinations or whatever. They have multiple different kinds of koa and multiple different kinds of, you know, mahogany, sapele, quilted mahogany, flame mahogany. Like, you can get really specific with what you want. The one thing I will tell you that I've run into is if you like a modern deluxe sort of build and you want the internals of that, you're going to be bound within the realm of getting everything with the modern deluxe. But that's not a bad thing. If you want the carbon fiber bridge plate, you're probably going to want the protein glued braces and all that. So there's a way to get exactly what you want, and it's a really, really fun process. So if you love this guitar, you love the other 2 guitars, we've got them as of right now. I don't imagine this one will be around long, or the others. But if you got 8 to 10 months, let us build you something and be a part of the process. Pick every single thing that you want, and Martin can make it happen. They're good friends, good people, good builders. And when you get the guitar like this one, which I've waited since, I believe, October 13th for, it's one of the best feelings in the world to get to play it, and then the sound kind of is exactly what you expect it to be. So really cool. All 3 of these are on the website and available as of the release of this video or the filming of the video. This might sell beforehand, but if you like them, come get them. And if you want something similar or way different, we can help you with that. It's a great time. So it's a custom extravaganza over here. Over the next few months and even into this October, we've got some really, really cool stuff. And if I'm just going to put it out there, they will do body styles that they discontinued in the early part of the 20th century. They'll still do them. And I made a couple. We got some really cool stuff coming. So if you're not subscribed, you're going to want to subscribe. If you love Martin Customs, go see my post on the Martin Owners group on Facebook, or see my post in the Martin Guitar subreddit. I'm on there. We're all on there. So subscribe to our channel. Go look at some cool Martins. Get inspired. Have fun. Play them. And we'll see you next time.